Alright, welcome to today's lesson on nested if statements. A nested if statement occurs when an if statement is placed inside of another if statement. This is similar to the other day when we talked about else if statements, except instead of placing the code in the else portion of an if statement, I'm going to place my if statement in the if portion of an if statement. When I do this, the second or inner if statement is only executed if the outer if statement is true. If the outer if statement is false, I never reach this inner if statement and it's never run. I'll clarify this with an example. We're going to have an example where a penguin's going to walk over a hole. And if he's over top of the hole and he's smaller than the hole, he's going to fall in. So here we have the outer if statement. The outer if statement says if my penguin is over the hole in the ice, then I'm going to do all the things inside. And only if this is true do I do any of the things inside. And if it's true, my penguin's going to look down, and then I reach the inner if statement, where he checks to see if he's wider than the hole. If he's wider than the hole, then he moves down 5 meters. So I can only reach this inner if statement if this outer if statement was also true. If this outer statement is not true, I break out and I continue on with the rest of the code that happens after. In a flowchart, this is what it looks like. I have my decision statement. If my penguin is at the same place as my hole, then the penguin's going to look down, and then I reach my inner if statement where I check to see if my penguin is smaller than the hole. If the penguin is smaller than the hole, and he was where the hole is, the penguin moves down 5 meters. This only occurs if both of those two if statements were true. If either one of those two if statements is false, I'm not going to execute this process. Instead, I'm going to continue off my program. Here's an example of what it looks like in code. So I've had my penguin move forward. If, in my outer if statement, my penguin is within 0.1 meters of the circle, he looks down. If he discovers he's smaller than the circle, he falls down. Again, notice that I've placed this if statement inside the if portion of my outer statement. If I were to grab that block and place it down into the else portion, this becomes an if-else if statement instead of a group of nested ifs. We can take a look at what that looks like in the actual program. So here's essentially the same program. I've spiced it up by adding a couple more things. However, my penguin moves over the hole. If my penguin is on top of the hole, he looks down. If he's smaller than the hole, he's going to fall down into the hole. I've put another if statement here, so it's actually 3 layers, 1, 2, 3. Once he reaches into the hole, he's also going to check to see if he's smaller than the shark. If he's smaller than the shark, he gets eaten. Otherwise, if he's not smaller than the shark, he splashes in the water. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So my penguin's going to be a nice small penguin. Here he comes. He's over the hole. He looks down. Uh-oh, he's smaller than the hole. He's also smaller than the shark, so he's eaten. Okay, we try it again with one that's a little bit bigger. My outer if, I'm over the hole. My inner if, am I smaller than the hole? Yes, I am. My third layer of if says that I'm not smaller than the shark, so I splash. And the last one, I'll do a really big penguin here. I go over the hole. Oh, I'm not bigger than the hole, so I don't do any of my other if statements. That's it. I hope you learned something about nested if statements. We'll talk to you in class tomorrow where we can practice what we've learned.